I love it. You find new ways to introduce the knife round, and it's better every single time. Well, imagine if you could somehow count the kills you have on your knife. Oh, wait, we actually can. So definitely amazing technology. But it is going to be, let's say, an important knife to see who starts CT, who's going to have. Perhaps it's a big if they'll have a better start or not. But it's going to be, of course, Apeks in this case, and I gotta be fair with you. I feel like Copenhagen Flames have to absolutely shine brighter than a diamond, better than Rihanna, because if they want to win this map, if they want to secure this first one, they really are gonna have to put themselves out there on all fronts. Otherwise, I feel like Apeks is gonna take the cake of the whole series, especially with the fact that Vertigo is our second map.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you have along the lines with your Rihanna reference. That's everything. Other than that, I'm cool.
Okay,
I'm cool with what
enough.
you said.
Fair
Copenhagen Flames starting on the T side. The low sample size statistics shows us that the team that has been fairly freshly formed, to be accurate, actually existing since August 12th. So just a few days, not even a month they've been together. Now,
Yep.
their time to show is how good they can perform as an aggressor on the T side. Looking at wonderful counterplay. Talking about it, there's a Swede already kissing the ground.
Damn, that's gonna hurt in the morning. And right now, it's gonna be Dafu and Mertz looking to take a bit of a fight towards Red outside and try and find themselves a way into secret. Marcelius smoked off on the angle, takes a few pot shots, and the first or the second actually hits, of course, none other than Dafu. Mertz down as well, as Akes is accurate as all hell, and this pistol round is not going as well as planned. I mean, it started off perfectly. Now they find themselves back on the losing side. It's not looking too sweet.
Well, I'm not looking too sweet at all. More to the opposite. Now the door. Going to be the main point of pushing, and obviously it's going down vents. Quick move as Julius just waits to make the move over there on the players who are trying to come down, and now everybody's just waiting to make it a coordinated, safe retake as Basso is still not announced. And Basso is still not dead. This is the completely broken part, but there is the man we mentioned, Julius, with a quad kill to secure just a round. And as he moved around vents, as he moved around the stairs, waited for his teammates and waited for the right kind of timing to make that one work. For Apeks, they definitely did. So the Flames, there it comes. I mean, could definitely force, and well, surprise, over. They do.
Well, yeah, of course they do. There's no big issue here. Now, there's one thing that I wanted to touch upon that I guess we didn't really say, is the fact that Apeks did play very late into the night, and they finished like 2 or 3 in the morning yesterday. So, you know, I hope they're not going to be overly affected by that. When
That's
they were
unlucky,
playing,
man.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's like, damn, boys, you really made yourself a nice little morning start here. But speaking of starts, it is going to be the second round that goes off like a banger. It's Dennis that falls. Marcelius gets caught as well. So far, so good. Yabi, good return. Truth does have the op in his hands, though. And, ooh, close call. Gruus and Truth are left. Seems like Apeks should be able to hold at least lower secret long. Question is, do they go into him? Nah, of course not. They're going to go through short. Kind of makes sense. You want to avoid being snapped in half. Although no, Mank's gonna go A. Hold on. It's an actual A take. As Apeks were fooled, and fair enough, the Flames. They'll get the bomb plant with this force buy. They might even succeed in picking up the round.
I can't imagine that they'll not succeed. The op is way too expensive. Had that one dropped, and you know, having that one dropped would be a major risk for the Apeks side. So decision most likely be made. Dafu, Mertz, and Manx. Triple has decided. At least Khalil is being brought in, but quite disastrous. Quite disastrous for Apeks throughout this round. As now,
Okay.
additional weapon lost and only the AWP in hands. They are fairly sure and they are fairly aware about the sniper rifle being in the next round. This is just causing a bit more problems, if you ask me. This could cause a few more issues, considering the fact that the Flames might just exactly avoid that position once they hear the first shot. But outside of that, forces immediate, and maybe it's one of those back and forth over.
Yeah, I'm feeling like this is going to be one of those back and forths, right? Where we're going to continuously see an exchange of rounds, one being more careless than the other. And, ooh, Mercelius burning out a little bit. Eagle not really going to help out too much as Dennis will hold his line and he finds himself one more as Agf helps to gain a little bit of control. Unfortunately, Apeks lose players one too quickly, and it's going to be back to Truth again, saving the op. And he's got full utility. The full force didn't really work out. And I guess we were wrong. It's not going to be as lucky as they might have thought or hoped. And, well, it is going to be the Flames starting off strong in this case. With the second round secured already, and with 3 players surviving, they'll have a bit of a bank starting to be built. And most certainly, they'll start feeling more confident than ever before. And this is exactly what I kind of wanted to see out of them. Not get hammered, not get stomped early on. And to be fair, I didn't expect them to be stomped. I just worried that, you know, Apeks starting on the CT side could have ramifications for the Flames. And, you know, getting quickly into that whirlwind of losses.
No, I feel you. I feel you over. Oh, my friend.
Well, they've got the op to work with, so it's not like it's the end of the world. Unfortunately, it's not that much better, is it?
That's right. Like a spider from the ceiling, then it drops. And he's looking for a frack with the pistol. Oh, you love to see that.
The one thing I'd be missing is if he had a nade to chug in there through the hole. Just like, eat this,
Must be
boys.
hilarious.
That'd be nice.
Wouldn't it be nice, as some might say? Hope you got that reference over.
Nope, I did not. I'm
No
not
big
sure what exactly you're referencing to. Well, neither does in this case Truth. Oh, Gruss, how does he get 2 there? That's quick succession of frags. Double up. I think they're just, they took the second up just to screw with Apeks to make them think that this is going to be a double up round, but indeed it actually will be. Mertz, the primary man, the man of the hour, will hold himself the main, and Manx will hold the secondary. Very interesting decision. I gotta give it to them. Not sure. Okay, yeah, like I said, they'll take it just to screw with their opponents. They're not actually gonna play with a double up. It didn't make sense at all that they would. Already though.
3-1. It's a bit surprising to see this kind of early T-side success coming in. Seems like Mertz and Co found their path. Success on a map like this is... Oh god, the spray fully over the place, all over the place. As a flashbang surely blinds him a little bit, but that could have been 1 to 2 frags. Mercelius went down secret already. And seems like the secret service is on its way, as the path towards B has been made. Through falls, but they can't expect a second, do they? No, not at all. Not under any circumstance.
Well, this is not looking much better for the Flames. Mertz at 5, Manx at 43, both critically low. Oh, Gruss, yeah, there goes Dafu, and the one player that had the 100 HP already out and about. So, fair enough. We're back to square one for the Flames. Their economy takes a bit of a downgrade. Ooh, they heard the scope. Yeah, they definitely heard the scope. Mertz hiding in secret, trying to be sneaky about it. And I can guarantee you they know about him. Well, that they know he's somewhere in between stairway and lower secret. Oh, did he just get bamboozled by... Oh, Dennis knife in hand? Did I start that correctly? Yeah, Dennis had the knife in hand, right?
So, yeah. Right. Yeah.
That was unexpected.
Either way, second coming in for Apeks, winning by time. For now, Flames in a situation where their economy is about to be absolutely shredded, but same goes for Apeks. The round, that could be an early key round to some respect. It might just determine an early outcome. Brasilia's fully blind and can't do much about it. Already down vent, and I would be very surprised if the Apeks does not know about it.
Well, we'll find out soon enough as it is. Bruce, good start. He gets rid of Mertz, unfortunately. Oh, hello.
Oh. Yeah, I'm very surprised. That's extremely surprising. Tell me what you want, but I don't get that.
Yeah, well, there goes the question to our answer. Do they know about him?
Yeah, but you can't tell me that. It's not possible.
I know. Hey, man, it's the way it is, unfortunately. Just the way the cookie crumbles and all that good jazz. It's a bit unfortunate, really. Apeks, this is quite a little bit of a blow to their economy. They're getting reset yet again with the loss bonus. And not only that, they're about to lose a second rifle, most likely. I mean, that's how it feels, and that's how it is, yeah. Whew, okay, the Flames, they're putting up the heat, and I love it. Starting to roast the beef. As Apeks seemingly have no answer to not necessarily the aggression of the Flames, but just the general play of the Flames, and a little bit out of tune, perhaps.
For now, concerning losses on the sides of Apeks. Such a map, I think you don't really need to be a Cisco expert to say that usually it's a bit more CT-sided. Obviously, you can statistically prove that. The past days when there was a way more CT-sided approach about this map, that truth just chimes in. But no real danger. It should not be any real danger. It should not be any real danger.
Saying it won't make it any better, my dude. It's back to 2-on-2. Yabi and Mertz are left, and yeah, I can't disagree with the stats that it is CT-sided, but still, this is gonna be one hell of a round. Yabi.
That's just 9 HP.
No way. He's got 50 seconds on the clock. If you discount the 3 seconds to plant, he's in a bit of a wonky spot. And Dennis, I love his repositioning. I really like this. I doubt Yabi will check hut, or at least be vigilant of that spot. And Dennis, yep, the eye in the sky. Hello and goodbye. Apeks win a full eco round. There we go. It has begun. The Flames losing a little bit of composure there. I would say maybe confidence and definitely decisiveness not being their strong suit.
All over. Like it's big danger in the way of Copenhagen Flames as they continue rounds like this. It's very good that they take a little break. It seems like it's very reasonable. You can also take a little break and place your bets over there in Unicorn, where with the code RELOG you get 300% your bet. So wonderful, isn't it?
It is. It's a nice little way to increase your deposits. So remember, RELOG, the code you can use on Unicorn. Speaking of codes, hopefully nobody's using them in-game. Wink, wink. Copenhagen Flames, as you said, it's going to be a bit complicated for the economy, but they won't lose any time. It's a straight A rush. I like it. Manx is already out of hut. The blindness of Truth doesn't really help him, but Akez, he's got an M4 and he's determined to hold the line like no other. Basso. Unfortunately, he will not have the luck of the draw there. And the round previous where Apeks won on a full eco was a single man surviving for the CTs, yet right now they're fully equipped to the bone. This is an excellent return for Apeks.
Yeah, so
this
far
is exactly what they needed. So far.
It's not. It's just more of a short-term return, as it's once more dependent what the Flames will do once they have proper weaponry back in their hands. That is dangerous.
Not sure why he has to expose himself.
Peeking into a Deagle low HP is really unreasonable to me.
I'm kind of baffles the mind, right? When you're low HP and want to fight against a pistol instead of just letting your teammates handle it and you surviving. But hungry for frags, hungry for more. They went to sleep bloodthirsty and they wake up bloodthirsty in terms of, you know, wanting to win and destroy their opponents. Nice little hole. Dennis, very nicely putting himself out there. What else can we say besides the fact that they did miss a player going down vents? Luckily...
In time. That would have been extra money Flames would have very much enjoyed, but get denied off.
Or certainly. That would have even potentially given them an AWP if they don't already have enough money for one.
Nice positioning, nice read from Dennis. And he's shutting them out one by one by one. Back to a bye we are over. Back to the AKs in hand. Back to the Flames in full force. And this is the question again that we have to, in this point, answer. Because the Flames, again, delivering an outstanding first segment of the first half. Or initial segment, to say it that way. Marsilius, he must be dead. By now, he must be dead. He cannot stay alive any longer when all those rifles are coming towards him. His teammate dies. Marsilius still has just been basically dodged. And this allows right now Basso to move through CT. A brilliant positioning, a brilliant move. Truth knows how to deny. But he's still dangerous as hell as Bonto falls.
Oh, Akez.
He does it all on his own.
That was a little bit closer than it should have been. Basso was the one that got himself 2 frags moving deep into CT lines. I was a bit surprised how Dennis got caught, but then Apeks seemed to have really realized that, you know, they first have to get rid of Dafu, and afterwards it all just went Basso, excuse me, and then it all just went down memory lane. And this beautiful double here, he spotted the shadow of Yabi, knew that he had to angle himself correctly, and by the time Yabi realizes where his opponent is coming from, it's already too late. Copenhagen Flames, they're going to be taken down a notch, another eco on their hands, pistols and Kevlar, so they don't have much to go on, but they might be able to make perhaps a frag or two possible, if even that. So far, it's been a wild ride. Apeks starting off a little bit weaker than we imagined. They seem to be in control now, and, well, it just took them a moment to wake up, I guess, understandably.
And the Flames, I can't imagine that they're too satisfied with that at that point, because you might find this a little odd if you're right now just joined us, but it is actually, from what has been gathered so far, a bit more of a T-sided map for the Flames, as though their opponents have not been the strongest. Vs Sj and Big Academy have been the only 3 they have played so far against. The Flames were always able to deliver a decent T-side, a quite decent one against Selecta and Big, as though I would not necessarily call them very representative opponents. Yeah, maybe Big Academy, alright, but it's still the team struggling from time to time to deliver those defensive rounds.
That's the thing. It's still struggling is the kind of the way they go, but the double up is what really right now, you know, is kind of like in the thrower center of my thought right now, with Grus and Marsilius wielding it. I'm interested in seeing how Marsilius plays this. He's going to go very aggressive towards red. This is not a classical move, but it is a very deadly one nonetheless. And look at this. Of course, Dennis embeds himself deep into enemy territory, with Marsilius being the first man to contact. They will not even suspect a thing. By the time they know what's up, it's going to be far too late. And look at Dennis pounces on the attack. Marsilius gets caught. Sure, Yabi quick enough to bring him down, but Dennis, the menace, unfortunately going to be caught though. So his Timing there might not be pristine and perfect. Grus, he's in trouble if he's not... No, never mind. He's not in trouble when Akis takes down Mertz. That's it. Now Yabi, 1-on-3.
Ouch. Denial for Javi.
The reason why he would be in trouble, Grus, that is because he had an off angle into secret, and if Mertz were to spot heaven, so if he were to check it, he'd had a better angle to work with, and he'd see the shoulder and the leg of Grus sooner, therefore having, you know, obviously the element of, or the advantage in that case. But unfortunately the Flames are not given such a lucky start nor beginning, and 4 rounds T side is no longer considered as good as once it was. You know, Nuke has changed quite considerably when it comes to the meta in terms of what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, right?
I love you for your accuracy from time to time, Honor. And for now, Akis false, as you said like that. You hate to see another wave coming in. Oh no. And those are the ones you wouldn't expect, would it be? Oh, this is absolute disaster striking for Apeks, as they pretty much had a free round, or at least it felt like a free round.
Wow.
Nobody's hitting its shots. Nobody hit their shots right now in this round. And so then it's money's there for Apeks, so you can dare and try. It would be just another rifle gifted to Flames, but I mean, we're that late into the first half, that doesn't really matter anymore.
No, it does not. Besides, you really got to win those, Apeks. I'm not sure how you dropped the ball. I mean, you know, they did win themselves with a pistol round, but surely they know better than to leave such gaps in their defense. In any case, 5th on the board. Copenhagen Flames, they can make this one still 6-7. If that is the case, they're doing a great job. That's exactly then where the tides turn again. As I said, Nuke, it's the new acceptable reality that it has become normal to see an 8-7 half, usually in the advantage of the CTs, but even if it were to go to the Ts, nobody would really bat an eye too much. So in this case, the Flames, they're doing themselves great justice and help for the next half. Let's see how this one turns around. Dafu, he's taking dangerous. He's playing a dangerous game right now.
Wow. And that dangerous game is being won by the Flames. Oh, full success they find.
Run away, Marcelius. What you doing?
12 HP left on the lad. I think he does himself a favor. I mean, what's more safe doesn't even make sense at that point. Go for it. I mean, saving doesn't necessarily make sense.
I mean, I'm not gonna...
maybe Gruss, but other than that?
I'm not gonna say it doesn't make sense, but it definitely, like, I mean, it's more about, do you really want to go into 5 players holding the line, right? That's, I think, the bigger issue here. Oh, God. Wow. Right now, it seems like Apeks have just... You know you're feeling it for a little bit, and then just a few seconds later you're like shooting a barn and you don't hit a single bullet. So right now Apeks feel like they took a bit of a wild swing and hit and a miss and all that. Now, as you say, it didn't really matter to their buy that if they go for it or not. But this is this is a little scary, bro. It's like looking at it, how they lost the side. Just with a blink of an eye, with a single flash, effectively, they broke Apeks in half. And they're gonna go again. Yeah, they're gonna go again. They don't care. Dafu's out squeaky again. Oh, never mind. Molotov at least.
Over. Seems like and then it's not really gonna have a good time with that one. The 8-6 is leading to the Apeks either taking a quite decent and acceptable lead, whilst though still concerning CT side they've delivered. I would have expected a lot more out of them in the defensive mechanisms. But now Marcelius, he's the first, finds the first. Second frag also granted. The op strikes and the marksman, it's just accurate as ever. Definitely saw the boost, but that was one too much.
Yeah, by the time Flames realized where Marcellus was shooting from, are a little bit late to respond, but they get him at least. 40 seconds on the clock. The Flames have more than enough time to put themselves in a great position, especially towards CT and Secret. Now, Truth seems to be aware of this, and he's keeping a keen eye out. Oh, that drop down was hurt. That much is guaranteed. Apeks, though, he's about to get the full-on realization of what's going on. Gruss, oh god. See, this is one thing that I'm kind of baffled, is the fact that Apeks seemed to not be aware of the fact that CT had been lost. I mean, surely you're aware of that. Surely there's some sort of realization. 3v3, though, this retake is going to be a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot harder than it looks. As Basso taking a more of a down look, he definitely saw the player anyway, and so the denial is there. 7th round for the Flames, who were playing a fairly outstanding half by now. And this Apeks, yeah, it might be them being actually a little tired, you know.
I think they're tired
from yesterday.
Yeah, they have to be.
Playing till like 1 AM or something.
4.
Was it really 4?
Yes. Yes, they finished at around 3:30, give or take.
But it was only 3 maps. Ah, they played overtime in every single one.
Yeah, and plus they started at 10 o'clock in the evening, right?
Yeah, but so. Okay, but if you still play 3 maps.
Oh, no, 1 in the morning. Yeah, you play until 1, but delays and everything, you know how it goes. Pistol is no longer Pistol. It's just the Flames on a roll. Wow. Sorry to have interrupted you so abruptly. Truly, yeah, it was only 3 maps, but OT on all 3, and just playing real late. I hope it's not going to affect them too much. That's it. I just hope that, you know, it's not too big of an issue. Mert seemingly on the hunt for the money. Great stuff. What else can we say, right? This is great stuff. The Flames are bringing up the heat, truly. 9-8. They take the lead for the 2nd time on this map. And let's just hope it's not as short of a stint as it was the first. At one point, after all, they were leading 4-2. Oh, wow. I'm a little bit perplexed what just happened, but looks like the gun round will be okay. I mean, I'm kind of trying to take all the information in. The Flames looking to push outside, not really working out what the issue or what the issues might have been. But it is going to be 9-9, ladies and gents, tied back together. As Apeks are able to keep the distance at a bare minimum, if any at all. Mertz, the op is up. We got a few rifles on the side of the Flames, and Dafo, of course, with his trusty MP9. And as we can see right now, it's going to be Manx playing this very dangerous exposed spot through garage. But he's going to have a lot of information going his way if he plays it right. Oh, yeah. Oh, Mertz. Mertz. That is dirty. Dirty dancing it through the smokes. As Yabi's down in vents already waiting for a unsuspecting targets.
He's playing with them, ring around the rosy at this point. A 5 versus 2, and again, this eco round, a nice idea for AGF to just stack that economy, knowing that they need a really good buy round to head into that first, but of course it does allow SJ to again use those MP9s, generate that further cash, get the full buy, moving into this one. 3 rounds in a row so far, a clean start to the CT side, but now here come the big guns. AGF, full AWP with plenty of utility. That double eco has really served its purpose, gotten them plenty of money.
Which is the one thing that AGF was really looking forward to. And not only that, it's because in this round, they've gone for a very much beefy purchase. If they say lose it, and if they get a bomb plant also, they'll have just enough money to go for another purchase. So it did make sense for them to try and go for this sort of double eco because they are playing the long game. The worst case scenario, if they lose this round, they have what it takes. But that nade, those nades in fact, deadly.
Such a good utility play from SJ. That is the one thing they have looked solid on throughout the entire map so far. Frostleft, though, he'll be the man to take the opening frag at least. Those smokes down, blocking off all the angles here for the side of SJ. Lynxy, what a shot there from him. Frostleft takes a chunk of damage, but it's Kern that swings around for the refrag. And with players still stuck in Olaf, that bomb is down right in the open. And there's nothing that AGF can particularly do about it. Frostleft is low. They've got Lynxy holding main. That smoke can go down, but Frostleft is exposed in a 3v1 that sees Lukey last alive. He does get a kill, but he's now incredibly low in a 1v2.
And Lynxy secures the final one with the scout. I'm surprised that SG Gaming still managed to come out on top with a victory in that round. Some of the positionings for the player were incredibly awkward in that 3v3 in particular. Once the bomb gets dropped, you have one of the individuals there playing close by terrorist connector. But the great thing for him is that at least he's got someone backing him up with a scout. But then again, he's not really fully covering him. So you have to rely on your teammate that, not only that he's going to give you the right information, but when the time comes, that he will secure that kill. And that shows to me a level of confidence in your teamwork here from SJ Gaming. Something that I didn't really expect to witness. I mean, recently we haven't really seen them play too often, and against the opponents they did play, they just didn't have the best run of form. But here against AGF, SJ Gaming are looking like a well-oiled machine. The teamwork is there, the individuals are hitting their shots, and now this round 20th is on its way. Arvid and Karn already picking up a few.
This is scary how good right now that SJ are looking. Given the fact that this is AGF's map pick, that nade again just dropping the health of this AGF side right now. Smokes will dissipate. He does get tagged down incredibly. Frostleft there able to provide the support. Kern looking to move on to the back of the site though, but doesn't even matter. Jemmy, even with 12 points of health, getting those frags. 14-6, and SJ on a stomping ground right now. AGF with limited money, they do get near max round loss bonus, but again, it's not enough for a comfortable buy, so pistols it is, and a massive opportunity for SJ to already get themselves up to map point here.
They're on an absolute terror. That's how good SG Gaming has been playing, not just at the latter stages of the first half, but on the second half as well, which matters most. I'm going to try to close things out. It is, of course, Jemmy going for a few engagements here. Maybe a bit of a risk. He's willing to take that risk because he knows that if they shut him down early in a round like this, they'll make sure to send a strong message. But TMB with the reply. It is, however, still a 2v3 scenario, of course, for the players of SG Gaming. They have a very much a great edge to close things out. But now TMB has recovered a rifle, and Frostleft, he can deal some damage. Ooh, that's a ballsy move from Arvid.
Especially with the position of Frostleft here as well. Inside of main, the bomb is redirecting toward that A bomb site. But is it? Lynxy taking out TMB? Well, I think it definitely is. Frostleft now last alive, and with Kern ready for his position. Should be a simple takedown as soon as he makes any sort of headway toward the bomb site, but as we do say that, He takes out Kern, gets himself an AK to play with as well, and has Kevlar. This round is scarily still up for debate with that rifle in his hands now.
The thing is as well, the two players are really far apart from one another, so if he isolates the duel, he's got a really good chance in this one. Is he aware of Arvid? No, the timing is a little bit off here for Frostlove, so even though once he begins going in for the bomb plant, both the players will begin to move in, and well, it is going to be Arvid to secure the round win. No bomb plant here for AGF, but no worries. They still have plenty of money to invest. It's just that they need to convert this investment into a round win. Otherwise, we might just be running away with the very first map. 16-6 is looking very likely here on Train.
This is a super dominant performance here out of SJ as well. The fact that this is AGF's map pick is terrifying right now. The fact that we move in to Mirage after this one as well. We'll see if SJ can get it closed and wrapped up. A very quick first map potentially, as we are getting ready for even to start the conversation about Mirage already. Christo taking a little bit of an early tag. They've got players ready for the attack. Down in that A bomb site, Lukey shifting his way forward. That's surely a free frag onto Jemmy as soon as that smoke dissipates. Again, has got to be so careful here, but oh no, the spray, the smoke down just covers the player of Jemmy, about keeping him safe. The push through the smoke this time, traded, but Linksy able to reply quickly. Back to a 4v4, and with some nice nade damage in, they're at least depleting the health of this side.
HP being lost, but the kills, they also need to go the way of AGF. Let's see though. Is Netric aware of the player being in tower? He is expecting someone to be at connector. 50 seconds on the clock. They still have enough time here to commit on the A bomb side. The problem is though, for a team like SJ Gaming, the B bomb side is completely open. TMB will just begin to walk his way onto the B side, and he can potentially give the call for his teammates to retreat. However, Sadix, this he's a player. That engagement so important. Goes the way of TMB, goes the way of Christo. Now AGF are very much back in this round, but Karn, is he aware how close the players are? He's not. And so with 20 seconds, now they can very easily just move in the A bomb. So they have a player coming in from connector. They still have the two players from T-Con. And that's it. They can very easily just plant the bomb and win the round. Linksy just has to save his AWP.
Yeah, it's so good there from AGF. More so very good from TMB. That one kill on the flank really confused SJ. Especially the fact that nobody was peeking on that A bomb site was unfortunately almost selling the rotate. TMB, if he turned around, would spot the final player, and that he does exactly. 15-7. AGF, they just about survived. The money is good for SJ, though. They will be able to make a rebuy back into this one. 8 rounds in a row needed if they wish to get back into this game. Now, it's a very long path. But SJ Gaming are CT side. They are malleable. They do have to take ecos. The money for a CT economy is always treacherous. A couple of gun round victories and AGF could be back to double digits. But not for now. SJ do have that full buy to come.
Yeah, they need to pick up this first and foremost. Netric, very early he pops out, and so the players from SG Gaming need to hold on to the bomb side. However, the smoke grenade's blocking off the vision. Frostlove has to pick up here. Linksy, Jamie though, that's an awkward engagement. Still wins it regardless. But the players of AGF are getting incredibly close to the bomb side. Arvid's so good on Netric. AGF, this is looking a little bit dysfunctional. They seem to be aware someone might have pushed on through Ivy, but Christo waiting for the smoke to fade. That's the one thing he's really banking on. But you can see that Arvid, he repositions himself. He'll take the high ground. Frostlove goes down, and Arvid in a prime position to eliminate Christo, and will be the end here for AGF. SJ Gaming managing to close things out in a very convincing manner.
Oh, the fact that that is AGF's map pick down at the drain already is a scary prospect. It is Mirage that we move into next. The map again that AGF have somewhat played relatively convincingly. They did take a victory over Fate, but it's SJ confidently picking into Mirage that is the scary factor, of course. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back after a short break, a 10-minute pause, and we'll be back for map number 2. It's Mirage on the way. Do not go anywhere.
Initialize booting. These are your targets. You must find, capture and contain them until extraction vehicle arrives. Witnesses are irrelevant. Leave them unharmed if you can. End of a transmission. System online.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, of course, into our second map of this series. It is SJ versus AGF. If you missed the first, I don't blame you. It went by pretty quickly, 16-7 as SJ snatched Train. It's now their map pick of Mirage here to see if they can actually close out the series quite convincingly.
And for a team like SG Gaming, this is by far the best possible way to do it. You've already won your opponent's map pick of Train in a very convincing manner nonetheless. And all you have to do right now is just win the second map. And of course, that is the potential to just make it 2-0. We'll see if that will be the case, though, because I'm sure that AGF on a map like Mirage, they might just put up a bit of a more fight, if I'm being honest. You know, on a map like Train, it is quite hard to get that early start. It was pretty much a back-and-forth affair, and I'm not really sure what happened at the end, but felt like AGF may have run out of steam. But here, on a map like Mirage, it's a new start, and it's a new chance to have a good map.
Especially on a map like Mirage as well, it's one of those where AGF have actually put up a couple of decent numbers here on this map. They did manage to get a victory over LDLC way back in 9-5-1, and a sort of 16-6 over the Bulgarians of Fade as well. So they've actually not had, not the worst of results, but again, have lost to the likes of Espada and Hellraisers along the way. But SJ Gaming, well, it's the T-side start for them here. TMB to open with a first entry. Cristo exposing his position. Lynxy able to find the refrag, but it's Netric and Lukey that respond. Some quick frags back to a 2v2, and the pistol round definitely not going as expected on Mirage.
Oh, it's certainly got to be very close indeed. This is a scenario where, the two players, they might have just done it. They have sneak past through jungle, and they can very easily just walk on the B bomb site. In fact, they'll run towards the B bomb site because there's not a single player there. They'll get that bomb planted, and AGF will not realize of what has just occurred. They still think that the players are maybe somewhere at T-spawn, but now they know the bomb's planted all over at B.
Both players seeming to come in from exactly the same angle as well, so Netric will just hold fire before Frostlef gets there. Make sure they can go in as a unit right now. A player behind bench in the form of Jemmy. He'll be the sort of real proprietor of this round, and knowing that Sadix is a little bit tagged up, but that smoke is good. The flash was even better. Jemmy, he does move out on the back of the site though, denies the defuse, and Frostlef, he's now spotted as well. Jemmy hits them both, and that's a beautiful round to find. SJ, pistol in the bag.
Oh, that is nice. That's one thing you wanted to see out of the side here from SJ Gaming. What a great start here. Jemmy being left in a 1v2 still manages to come on top with the victory. For AGF, it's a little bit dissatisfying that it has come to this, but it is 1-0. AGF, though, I've gone for the investment. I understand it. It's the second round. Might as well go for that force buy. Interestingly enough, we have a bit of a change-up. It's not just your usual pistols. It's also the Scout here for Cristo, and also the MP9 for Netric. And a great way to kick things off, nonetheless. Cristo, the first man to find a kill.
That's a real good start, Cristo. Popping the head, which is perfect. Minute and 20 on the clock. Mid control established on the side of SJ, but again, they now know that AGF have gone for a force buy. That does alter the setup. Need to ensure that right now this squad is playing as a unit, cannot afford to be giving one-by-one interactions to AGF. Especially with Cristo. I mean, he is still lurking inside of Connector. Arvid needs to be so careful walking into this position. Now, luckily, gets the smoke down at just the right time, but does not become aware of TMV. Second frag found. Now SJ have to commit. They need to move as a triple here.
Oh, we are seeing the investment here working out very well for AGF. However, the B-bomb site commitment, so far so good. Lynxy gets the one. However, they're taking a very long time to find the players, but it's still a 2-on-2. Really good for SG Gaming to now get that bomb planted. And Frostlef, is he going to move in? Well, Lukey sure does, and he goes down because of it. Leaving it all to Lonesome Frostlef to somehow win this one out. He's expecting the first player. With your card, you don't want to peek that angle, none whatsoever, as Frostlef is getting close to his death. 2-0. SJ Gaming, they managed to convert the second round as well.
Close call there, but they just about ride through. Get away with the victory. A nice little start there for SJ Gaming. And with the eco round on the way for AGF now as well, should be a 3-0 start. A real positive uprise again from SJ. Starting the map as they mean to go on. And of course, as we sort of recall back to the start of Train, of course, it was a very sort of shaky start for both of the sides. Pistol round was won by AGF, the second as well, but then it was back and forward right the way through the half until SJ picked up that pace at the end. But Jemmy able to find the first. That MAC-10 spraying down, the nade to further impact as well. And a simple cleanup there of the eco. One casualty, but the AK retrieved, and a third round on the board for SJ.
Really not that bad, I'd say. What we have here is a 3-0 start for SJ Gaming. They secured the first pistol, the second round as well, which was really important. And now it is the real challenge, the gun round coming in. Interestingly enough, not all the players from AGF have bought up the head armor. I mean, you have 3 players, Christo, Netric, and Frostland, that don't have the extra armor, which means that those MAC-10s in the hands of Jemmy and Arvid can be really lethal. And well, let's see, they are changing up the pace very quickly. They're running into the B-bomb site. There's a lot of damage, in fact, being inflicted, and that might just be enough to slow down the push, if not stop it entirely. Netric gets few. This is turning out to be a very nice round to take here for AGF. The first, and maybe the first of many, but Karin gets one, and AGF managed to hold on the B-bomb site.
Very nice first round for AGF. A little bit more expensive. Rebuys will have to be taken, dropped out by these AGF players. But SJ, again, giving that first round to the CT side. Full rebuy to come. The economy not particularly too stable after the fact, though. So we'll need to be able to keep their money situated, and they can do that by winning this round. Mid-control looking to be established here. Frostlef already up toward the top of middle, has Christo in defense as well. Nice little crossfire established. Christo holds Frostlef. Frostlef makes sure underpass is clear. And that's exactly where SJ are lurking in from right now. This position could be compromised very quickly. Does Jemmy check the corner though? That's the question. They might just do now, as that's a very nice first kill to find. The attention is now divided. Christo, he misses a vital shot, make it a second. Arvid takes him out, and TMB forced to retreat. That's a beautiful couple of frags. Lukey does return one, but it's still a 3-on-2.
Yes, looking very good for SJ Gaming. That Molotov coming in as well. Lukey basically has to wait for his teammate Netric to try and do anything. However, the one good thing here for AGF is that the bomb is yet to make its way into the bomb site itself. Lukey right now, fully focused on the A bomb site, but he not be aware of the incoming flank himself. And this push for the smoke. Arvid spots him out, allowing the player in the form of Sadix to finally make his way into the bomb site itself. Netric, though, is yet to reveal his position. If they go for the open plant, he's been spotted, and he's going to go down as well. AGF are not able to win that round. It is SJ Gaming to secure the fourth.
Not just the fourth round as well, but it's a denial of the economy there. AGF will have to take an eco round to come. They can afford to buy into the next, so no real reason to worry just yet. But AGF are definitely looking like a little bit more of a shaky side now here on Mirage. To say that we are only 5 rounds played, and SJ do have quite the definitive lead so far. These USPs, they're able to overwhelm pretty nicely. Kern even falls as well, so 2 rifles can be recollected on the side of AGF. That's actually a decent save in itself if that bomb goes down, which exactly so it will. There's no reason for AGF to sacrifice themselves whatsoever. 2 AKs saved up, $4,400 or $5,400, sorry, carried into the next round. That really gives them enough chance to get that full utility, a defuse kit up there as well, so a save to come through from AGF. But round number 5 for SJ, a real positive start on the T side, almost getting toward that number of 6-7 rounds where they'd even be safe on a T side of Mirage. They're nearly there already.
This is turning out to be a great start here for a team like SG Gaming, but it's nice to see that AGF will still have just enough money to reinvest here. In fact, plenty of money, for being honest. You know, this is where you lost a lot of rounds in a row. You have players like TMB on $7,000, and remember, he also gets to keep that AK-47. So I think even if they somehow lose this upcoming round, AGF, they might have just enough to reinvest. But we'll see. There's the purchase here from AGF. Christo and the AWP. I would presume this is where we see a change of pace here from AGF. Maybe some mid-control could potentially come in. We haven't really seen them do anything too audacious just yet. Basically, default setups most of the time. Right now, the default setup here is to just hold on the B-bomb side as well as the A-bomb side. But they seem to have an inkling of what could take place here over A. There we go. There we go. Smokes, flashes. Now they know what's going on.
A side under complete control. Jemmy just about gets away with the first kill onto Lukey there. Some damage being inflicted, though. Oh, nice nade onto Arvid as well. Flashbang into deep CT, but no peeks to come. They're waiting for the flashes. Peek out, no info gathered. Second flash getting ready as well. See if they can force out the push, but no, it's Arvid that pulls back for now. That bomb is ticking away. And still Arvid does get caught out, at least in that position. Somehow still alive, though. Oh, and gets the frag as well. Statics kills his own teammate, but back to a 1v1. Netric taps onto the bomb, goes for the stick of the defuse. And Kern, you've got to speed things up, buddy. Got to speed it up. But luckily, with no defuse kit, they get away with the round. A little bit more messy, but it's SJ that continue the spree.
Yes, the spree continues, even though it gets a little bit dangerous there at the A-bomb side, especially in that 1v1 scenario. But here you can see once that bomb is planted, you have Static, somebody with a few huge kills, even though one of them came down to killing his own teammate. But no worries. All in all, this is a scenario where AGF, yeah, they're feeling pressure. Initially, in the very first map, I don't recall them taking that many timeouts, or any timeouts for that matter. But here they realize, okay, it's second map. We're again having a pretty bad start. We need to change something. And one of the changes that it's very common to witness is that double op setup coming into play.
It's a nice idea as well. We saw it on train. We saw Christo step into action straight away with that double AWP setup. So hopefully we will see something out of AGF here to almost resurrect on Mirage right now, because with 6-1, it's a pretty dangerous scoreline already here for AGF, and we'll see what they can do with it. But this time, SJ Gaming playing a much more default style of approach. Christo, however, he already makes the first frag. That's a great start. Nice nade in return. Some decent damage inflicted. Molotov to eventually force him back. But a great early entry, and that's what the double AWP allows. It allows you to sit a little bit more aggressively on those early peaks, not have to worry about the rifles becoming an issue. AWP is a one-shot, and that's put exactly to the right use there. And a first frag found that pretty much changes the entire round for SJ. They were sitting playing a default. Now it seems like more of an A-sided commit, but a triple stack from AGF seems ready.
It is going to be a little bit of a stack in that sense. You have those free players. Of course, the Opera as well in the form of TMB. SJ Gaming, they're getting incredibly close to the bomb site itself. They will now deploy the smoke grenades. The flashbangs follow suit. And let's see if the kills can also go their way. AGF need to hold the ground, and so far so good. Team B gets the first one. The two players, ooh, that's a problem, close by one another. They both take the exact same amount of damage. Flash now coming in with 30 seconds. Lynxie eliminates Lukey, but there's still a player at Ticket. Not any longer. Frost left, though.
Frost left.
And the smoke. This is such a powerful position for him to find the one. Not even the second one. They don't check him. That will be the second one here for AGF. The hold is strong.
So good there out of AGF. Finally, a solid round in their favor. Able to find a very nice little victory there out of this one. But SJ Gaming, rebuy to come. Does leave them pretty much stranded, though, in terms of their economy. It's even a Mac 10 that comes through here to just try and keep the cash alive. So We'll see how this one goes, but drop down from Christo. That is not the best way to go about it. Jemmy, an instant first frag to find, and that's a great early entry. That's one of the AWPs that plagued them in the last round, now out of this one.
Absolutely. There's still a chance for them. Let's see. Sadix connector control coming in. In this scenario, this is where AGF might consider going for a bit of a push. You can see that one of the players here, in the form of Netric, still holding short, but it will be, in fact, TMB with frag. It is going to be also losing quite a big chunk of his health. Lukey securing the frag here in Sadix. Netric has the angle here in Arvid. It will be Lukey to come out on top. It's all looking good in the camp of AGF, as it will be a victory going their way, unless Karn, 1v4, 10 HP. Doubt it's going to happen, but looks like he'll have to go along with it.
Yeah, good luck there. Seems like finally. There we go. Finished off by TMB. Great shutdown of the round itself. A third on the board for AGF. And finally, money becoming an issue for SJ. AGF have done exactly what they needed to. They've broken the bank. A chance to make this scoreline much, much closer. And scarily, back to just a single AWP here for AGF now. Swapped out for the M4. AGF realizing now that they might not want to sort of have too many chefs around one pot. AWP is good in Christo's hands. We'll see if they can make do with it, and of course they will. Simple cleanup here of an A-sided rush. A nice attempt there out of SJ, but again, very well read by AGF. And round number 4 confirmed. SJ can get a rebuy, but AGF at least narrowing the scoreline here. And they needed to as well. It's a CT side. They could not afford SJ taking another lead like they did on Train.
Well, looks like AGF might actually get some of that momentum rolling their way on the CT side and potentially make this one close. Because initially, SJ Gaming were just running away with this first half and maybe the map as well. It's good to see that AGF have not given up just yet. But something tells me that SJ Gaming will have to reevaluate their options here on the matter. As of now, mid control could be part of the game plan for SJ Gaming, and luckily for them, there's no Opera to try and contest them. They are moving in very quickly, though. Will they actually look on the left-hand side? No, that's a huge mistake. That will allow TMB to get a few frags, and TMB, he will look for more. Arvid going for the spray, deals the damage, but it's Lukey to come out on top. It is turning out to be an amazing round for AGF. The 5th is on the horizon.
AGF seem to be back from the dead here at this point. Not just round 5 should be attained, but SJ seeming to be a little bit stuck now in terms of their economy. So they will be, again, allowing the CT side to come right back into fruition here. With Jemmy inside of apartments, Frostlef already coming in for the flanks. Will lose his life there as they get at least a single kill off of the back of that one. Flashbang not particularly landing in the best of angles. Jemmy, though, loses no health on that duel either. So as he finds himself a second kill, with 30 seconds on the clock, there is chance that he could do maybe a little more damage here. He's got a smoke to deploy. The bomb can be collected. As he crosses over that window position, bomb now in his hands, the AWP of Christo on the site. If he gets a third kill onto Christo here, there is a real chance that he does get away with this. He takes out a further kill there. Fake plants the bomb as well. A missed shot as he tries to go for the frag. No chance to get the bomb plant, but at least Jemmy makes it expensive.
Oh, at least it becomes somewhat more expensive, but you have to admit, this is a scenario where in the 5-6 scoreline, you can see that AGF are finally getting a few rounds on the board, and if anything, it might just be a scenario where, yeah, SG Gaming, they're feeling pressure. They realized, okay, we've allowed way too much breathing room for a team like AGF. They already managed to win 4 rounds in a row. Sure, the scoreline is still in your favor. It's a 5-6 we're talking about, but I think if you're SG Gaming, you want to take that time out as quickly as you can and figure out what you want to do for the upcoming rounds. Not necessarily for this one. This one is going to be your standard run-of-the-mill eco. But after this one's over and the potential is there for a 6-6 scoreline for AGF, that's when you got to realize that, okay, we have to change something. So far, Jemmy, he's been doing a tremendous job playing here on the side of SJ Gaming, but the problem is that the players in AGF are also turning up.
Yeah, this is not particularly the best performance from players like Sadix either, so they have got maybe a couple of, I wouldn't say weaker elements, but definitely some players that aren't as prominent as they were on the map of Train. Arvid at least able to make it in front of the Molotov, and Nade dropping him down to just above half of his health. That Molotov dealing further damage and just about avoids the spray. Dropped down low, but it is Christo that lands the early frag now. Takes out Jemmy. Lynxy falls as well, and what seems like a very simple eco round is wrapped up. AGF able to make it round number 6 and tie up the scoreline. We know that on Train, SJ did swipe a 9-6 on that T side. AGF almost needing to make sure that that does not happen again here.
Oh, I mean, here, the player Sadix yet to find any sort of impact, but then again, his buddy Jemmy didn't. So let's see what he can do here with the 8 WP. Thus far, he's only got the 2 kills, and oh, he's not going to get any more to his tally. Karn, though, nice little pickup on Frostleft, but that's going to be the end of this round. 6-6. It is indeed the scoreline here, and an unbelievable turn of events. AGF are suddenly making things competitive. Also, take a look at the scoreboard at the top right. AGF managed to pick up just 7 rounds on Train. That was the map they also picked. But here on Mirage, suddenly they have a resurgence of form and potentially can make things a lot more closer than initially expected, if they haven't made them already with this scoreline.
Yeah, so far, AGF able to get away with a nice resurgence here. It's positive to see as well, especially on the CT side. They could not have afforded to drop out of this position. And luckily, able to get away with a tie of the scoreline is good. I know they can break SJ moving forward, though, if they do get themselves a victory here. Money isn't particularly too great moving forward either. Minute on the clock. SJ playing super default. Not going to be overextending in the slightest here. Running down the clock. Mid-control established. Not wanting to give up this sort of position so far. 52 seconds on the clock. Now with mid really in their grasps. If they head toward the A side, they are walking right into essentially a quadruple stack with that quick rotate from Christo. But they've still got time to at least make this possible right now.
35 seconds. They are cutting it closer. SG Gaming and Arvid, once he's popping out. Oh, he's been spun out by TMB. That's massive. This gives the chance for AGF to hold on the bomb side for a little bit longer, if not for its entirety. Jemmy gonna frag here in TMB, and it's interesting to note that AGF are putting a lot of emphasis on having the 2 players on ramp. This could potentially be a powerful crossfire once that bomb gets planted, but first and foremost, they need to get the plant in. 10 seconds remaining. Bombing. Oh, that's actually been stopped, and Karn and Jemmy getting few. Karn steps up, and now the bomb does come in, but it is Lonesome Christo try and win the clutch, the first for him. Oh, but it's Lynxy with a very swift peek. SJ Gaming, that was without a doubt one of the closest rounds we got to witness here in the first half. That was incredibly close. I thought once that bomb carrier enters the site, that should have been the bomb plant, but yet it is stopped, and SJ Gaming, in just a span of a few seconds, managed to pick up so many impactful kills and eventually pick up this 7th round.
Finally, SJ getting a victory on the board that sees them back to winning ways. It's been a sweet minute and a nice uprise from AGF since SJ have been able to get themselves a victory here. With AGF back onto the rebuy, economy is on that breaking point. Christo going aggro. Might be able to get away with the frag. No, does not get presented the opportunity. And this time, seems like SJ once again will be putting a lot of focus down on this mid-control. 2 players from inside of underpass. 2 players coming in from top middle. They've got TMB in window and Lynxy able to take him down, or short, sorry. They've got Frostleft inside of window, but that... Oh, the timing could not be worse there for Frostlev. He literally just turns his back, but he does get karmaed. Timing there is good for Lukey, but it's still back to a 4v3.
Oh, Lukey, impressive scenes. He somehow manages to find all 3 frags. And out of nowhere, AGF, they've got a really good chance in this one. Lonesome Lukey has done just enough to put AGF in a very winnable position. The problem is for SJ Gaming, they somehow need to get it on the bomb. Oh, Carndo has got to make sure that he covers his teammates' back. But the problem is, though, he's not really 100% sure where the players could come from because they can't come from connector ramp. Of course, CT spawn. 17 seconds, flashbang comes in, Karn goes warp 1, but can't get it on Netric, leaving it all up to Lonesome Linksin. Well, he's looking for the frag, but now he's going to go in for the bomb plant. He has actually got it down, but Linksy, oh yes, 2 players to find. That is just too much for the Lonesome player in AGF. I mean, yes, there was some unlucky timing there in window, but you cannot deny it. Lukey found some amazing timing himself as he pushes out to get those impactful free kills.
Yeah, it's so good there on the side of AGF. Lukey bringing massive plays to the table. And the half, it is going to be as close as possible. SJ Gaming, it will be an 8-7 no matter who it goes in the favor of now. 7 T-sided rounds, actually not too bad here for SJ. I mean, with the upward trajectory they had right at the start of the half, I was thinking more along the lines of another 9-6, another 10-5 potentially. But with the way that it's actually gone so far, it's not too bad. If AGF snatch round number 8, you know, they wouldn't be too opposed to moving into that CT side with a little bit more of a task to play with, but that is a beautiful spray. Netric dropping Jemmy down to 2. Able to grab the B apartment's control. TMB shutting him down. And it seems like AGF, despite their rough start, have been able to gain control back here on Mirage.
Yeah, that's really one of the ways to go about it, to call it that they have regained control. In fact, it looks like the 8 rounds will also go their way. Oh, they're not aware. Ooh, Frostlev's push. He does go down to Karn. Thought he might even get the 2 kills in that position, but don't worry, it's TMB. Oh, struggling just a little bit, but that's going to cost him his life. Arvid eliminates TMB, putting us into a free-on-free, and Netric, very nice push, gets the bomb carrier, Arvid. Oh, Karn, that is some nice movement, but you can see that Netric is very much aware of it, that the player has to come his way because they need to recover the bomb, and Karn moves in. Oh, doesn't get the frag. And Lonesome Linksy somehow has to win a 1v free.
Especially in this position should not be possible. Spray already coming down onto the first, but a simple shutdown. AGF, they do bag themselves round number 8. It's not too bad. They can move into the into the T side, knowing that they at least had a decent CT-sided performance, but either way, SJ, they have been very proficient on the pistols. They've been very proficient on the CT side. We saw Train really step up to the mark for them there, and we'll see if they can do that again. But AGF needing this half and needing this map to go in their favor to keep them in the series. It is SJ looking to close out the best of 3 already here.
It's looking very possible for SJ Gaming to still close things out at the best of 3, but of course, you kind of denied as AGF. Their recent run of form here in the first half is a bit dangerous for SJ Gaming. They must be very careful of their opponents. They should respect them to the best ability. As I will see, there's the one smoke being deployed. As for the incoming players, there's only one, in the form of Lukey, trying to pull off some sort of rotation, but because he's the only player, he should not actually be able to pull off some sort of fake, especially now. Linksy getting the frag here in Frostlev, and now, there is a bit of a rotation here from SJ Gaming, but there we go. They hear the footsteps. They're very much aware that it's all part of this game plan for AGF to try and pull off a fake, and you also have TMB from short. Lukey, Christo, and Lukey again securing frags. Looks like it all works out for AGF.
Oh, that is so good here from AGF. They are really starting to look like a convincing outfit As Arvid moving in, Christo will close him down. 9-7, T-side pistol round secured, and that is such a good way to go about it. As we saw with SJ on their first half as well here on Mirage, they got 3 extra rounds, or 2 extra rounds, before AGF could really come through and find any sort of victory. But we shall see how this goes. It's a force buy out of SJ. So a full investment to come. An MP9 on Arvid, a scout for Lynxy. And TMB, whilst he does take an early tag, he'll take out Lynxy. A first kill to be found by AGF.
Nice pickup. Jamie, though, just a scout. Ooh, sees one of the players, but he knows if he swings out wide, there could be more players in top mid, so he's better off just backing away and playing it safe, which is something you can't really say about Arvid. He's just pushing out here with the MP9. Is he not aware of the player being above him? Now he is. He peeks around the corner to eliminate Lukey. That's at least one frag going the way of SJ Gaming, but AGF, on the other hand, have now full presence over the A bomb, so they will now be in a prime position to get that bomb planted. And Arvid, though, swings out, but it is Krista to get the better of him. So AGF seem to be doing a tremendous job at dealing with the force buy as well. Only losing the one player thus far, and no rifles will be retrieved. Sadix and Karn are just too far away to accomplish anything. Okay, that's a nice one on Frostleft, but overall the round, it seems to go the way of AGF.
Save coming through as well of that MAC-10, the Kevlar to be carried over as well. They know, of course, that it will be another eco round on the way here for SJ Gaming, but 10-7 confirmed, and scarily 10-8 probably on the way as well. And that really invites AGF into this second half so incredibly early. Just knowing right now that, you know, what SJ need to do, they might not be capable of here on Mirage. They've got to step up in that first gun round, and scarily Sadix. He was on 2 frags back on like round number 9. He's still on 2 frags here in round number 17 just played. So that's a really worrying sign that one of the players that you do particularly need to be fragging has completely disappeared. That forces players like Arvid and like Kern, the more experienced boys in this roster, the supportive elements of this side, to have to overplay and overperform, because Sadix right now is really not holding his own.
Yeah, that's true. Right now, Sadix is having quite a difficult run of form. On the T side, that is somewhat more acceptable. If you are not able to perform, you at least have your other teammates capable to jump in. Whereas now, if you got Sadix sitting on just a few kills and he's on the CD side where he's going to have to step up, that is going to be rather difficult if he can't find his form. It is a bit of a stack on the bomb side, however, and AGF, they're not really going for any sort of map control that much, so they are running into a stack and they're not really sure what they'll find, but they are getting a lot of kills, in fact. So, somehow, in fact, they win the round without dropping a single player. And remember, they ran into a stacked A bomb site.
That's so good there from AGF. Some decent damage inflicted, but that MAC-10 was just not able to do its justice, unfortunately. AGF into 11. First buy round to come from SJ. And AGF knowing just how important it is to take away a victory here. They know that if they can find success in this round, essentially they can put themselves up to 13-7 and really start to look to close out here on Mirage. But so far, so good. Some nice damage inflicted onto Lynxy. He'll be down to 29. Now, as an AWP, not particularly too worried about this, but it is the sniper that is under threat, and, well, luckily is able to get the better of Netric. But Christo, oh, okay, that's a triple for him. Lynxy finding a return. He killed his teammate in the process, I believe, with low HP. It was a triple frag, but 2 only on the CT side. But either way, SJ Gaming, a 3 versus 2. They've at least got a chance to make this retake.
Especially now with the kit also being in their possession. All 3 players are coming from the same angle, which we'll see if that's going to work out in their favor, because if you're IGF, you expect both players to come from the same position, fair enough. You still expect a third guy from somewhere else. But now Frostleft getting the first one, spots of the guy in short as well. He swings out, but he runs out of bullets. And so someone's going to have to stick that defuse. They're simply running out of time. And Lukey has done it. He has just won the round. And of course, there's no time for him to evade the explosion. But of course, it is a victory for AGF. 12 rounds have been picked up. And for a team like SJ Gaming, they can't even convert the gun round, which is quite dissatisfying. This is not a good start in this second half. Lose the pistol, lose the second round force spy, but also lose the gun round. Your opponents could be in a prime position to make this 13-7.
So far, so good. AGF getting away with a very nice little setup here coming through. With the eco round coming up right now here as well. SJ Gaming going to be very, very stuck in this position now. AGF are really starting to sort of take the baton here, finish the relay race, do what SJ could not on this T side. Smoke some Molotovs out onto the A-bomb site. This time not a stat, but at least they've got a UMP to defend. It's Lynxy that finds the early tags, though, unfortunately. Sadix could return. The same for Arvid as well. They do get some decent damage off of the back of this one. Sadix finally getting a kill as well. Trading back some damage. Kern as well. Beautiful pick-off, but unfortunately, they now know where the final man is, and Netric will close it down. 13-7. Finally a kill from Sadix, but it's the rest of the SJ side that are just being dominated by AGF.
I mean, to put it in perspective, as AGF managed to win 12 rounds, meanwhile, SG Gaming have only won the one. That's it. They won one round, whereas their opponents in the same time span have picked up 12. So this is really not looking good here for SJ Game whatsoever. The confidence must be shaken. As now here on CD side Mirage, you still have a good chance to, start picking up these rounds in the CD side, but as we've seen thus far, it is rather difficult. Lynxy, though, is holding the position here towards Connector, hoping to spot out someone in top mid. There is a player here, of course, but he's not really committing anywhere just yet, and he knows that the longer he holds in Connector, the more dangerous it becomes, because he's not aware if anyone considers pushing up through underpass. In fact, in their current position, they don't really have anyone overlooking jungle, so they could have very easily gone for the window boost. But luckily for Lynxy, he can keep an eye on two angles at the same time. He just takes a look at Connector, and from time to time, he'll also take a look at window.
Some decent positions being held here so far, but SJ, they know how vital this round is. They lose this one, and we are on our way very quickly to round number 15. Money is a big problem for the SJ side. A bomb site, though. It is going to be under a bit more of a threat than they might realize here. Oh, Lynxy. He didn't spot anything there, but this time catches onto Netric, misses the shots and gets traded. Kern, you're burning in the Molotov, buddy. Arvid luckily returning one kill, so it is back to a 3v3. Can keep himself safe inside of Firebox, but they know where he is. They know where he's dipped off to. Luckily, Jemmy distracts. But Arvid, here comes the spray, down to a 1v1. And Christo, with 7 seconds on the clock this time, does get away with the frag. Just about secures it and takes the round for for AGF, 14-7.
Oh, it's so dissatisfying that in that 1v1 scenario, you have the reload coming in, and of course that gives away a sound cue. And for AGF to pick up that victory as well, it is rather impressive that not only do some of the gun rounds go their way, but the clutches as well. Well, this puts SJ Gaming in a very difficult scenario. They go for the reinvestment, but as we can see, they are lacking in terms of utility, in terms of the fuse kits as well. It was a good start, though. Jemmy manages to get the kill here on TMB. So that's at least one start that goes their way, but SJ Gaming holding a more aggressive stance here in middle, something we haven't seen too often, and as of now, it is working out really well for them. Look at this. A few good kills, 3 in total, 4 now. Looks like SJ Gaming have finally done it. They will now break the streak of AGF. But Luki is still very much alive.
At least finally getting themselves a little bit more of a resurrection, perhaps, here for SJ. Although, look at this right now, Luki. He can shift right the way through Palace get onto the A side most likely, but does have Lynxy in defense now. He will shift his way through. Lynxy, though. Oh, not yet spotted out the player now. Eventually does, but Lukey nearly transferred the spray. Luckily, Lynxy gets it shut down, but it's SJ that do survive. Money is great for AGF. They can get a rebuy back up here. The T side wanting to just play the rifles instead, though not extending into an AWP. I think that's a perfect decision for them here. But SJ, at least around to restore some confidence. Like you say, they are probably really overwhelmed at this point with AGF's performance, but we'll see how they go. They've got to win this round still to stay afloat. The money is still not compensating their success, so they've got to become consistent if they wish to stick around here.
That's the most important thing right now. If you're SG Gaming, you somehow want to pull off this comeback, consistency is key. As we do see, SG Gaming, they have struggled at picking up consecutive rounds in rows. To expect them to do so now at the second half, when it matters most, does feel foolish. But of course, they still have rounds to work with. They still have weaponry at their disposal, so they will not give up that easily. But it's going to be a difficult journey regardless. This time around, they're not going for any sort of mid-presence SG Gaming. In fact, they're going back to their default setups, and so far, Sadix, that's a good little pickup here. Netric manages to get the first one, but he's moving in very quickly, too quickly, and that will allow Team B to get his.
Look at the positions on the A site as well for SJ. They've completely relinquished all site control through that ramp and connector position. They've got a CT hold, but again, watching Palace is really the only use for him right now. TMB, though, will move into the line of sight, so a good return there. A 4 versus 3 now to play. They know they've got Lynxy trapped and will be able to take him down. It's a double, make it a triple on the trades. And as Kern is in a 1 versus 3, that will not make a difference at this point. However, every single player of AGF, they're at least a couple of bullets away from death, so there could be some quick trades that might see Kern at least do something in this round to keep themselves safe. With a swing out from Christo, the bait was good. Lukey luckily springs into action.
Oh, but that was a sick little maneuver, going in for the spray, and of course the transfer on the second guy as well. But yes, fact of the matter is that it is 15-8. SJ Gaming, they're going to go for one more purchase at the very least. From what you can tell, it is turning out to be quite a difficult game here for SJ Gaming on their own map pick nonetheless. The 9-5 continues with opponents winning their own opponent's map pick, but not capable of winning their own. However, it's a good start here in the middle, but the problem is they have completely abandoned the B-bomb site, and by the window not being broken, AGF is very much aware that, wait a minute, this bomb site is completely empty.
Oh, beautiful kill there as well. TMB able to trade it back. They still have the advantage for now, however. Able to come through with some great little tags here. Kern keeping the side alive, but for how long is the question? They line up for them here as Arvid now finished off by Frostlef. 16-8 as AGF. They do the reverse on SJ. Sure, they lost Train, but they make sure Mirage is in their back pocket.
Yes, with now, of course, a bit of a trade here of maps. We saw Train, we saw Mirage, and of course, we gotta see that decider on the third map as well. So guys, stay tuned as we'll be right back to bring you the third map of Nuke.
Initialize booting. These are your targets. You must find, capture and contain them until extraction vehicle arrives. Witnesses are irrelevant. Leave them unharmed if you can. End of a transmission. System online.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, into our third and final map of the series. It is, of course, Nuke. We kind of predicted that it should go the distance. It definitely has. Two quick games in terms of the maps themselves, but both teams, unfortunately, losing their own map pick to take us into Nuke.
Yes, and it was a very interesting scenario, considering the first one. Of course, the map pick of AGF, to go into that soon to be very well prepared roster. Initially was somewhat of a competitive affair, but just at the very end of the first half and the second half in its entirety, SJ Gaming just, they started running away with it. And they actually achieved a 16-7 victory. Whereas in the second map, it was SG Gaming again that early on had a pretty substantial lead, but they just slipped away with just a few rounds, and suddenly AGF just started picking up round after round after round, and it turned out to be very much a one-sided affair in the very end. So here on Nuke, I'm expecting to at least witness some double digits, a close game between two teams, and that's something that it is reasonable to expect, considering both these teams have played quite a bit of Nuke in the past, and now we're seeing the straight-up vent dive, and so far Karn secures the first, and Sadix now sees a lot more players coming in, but it's Arvid to secure the frags.
That's a very quick cleanup of the round there from SJ. A great start so far. Seeming like the pistol round will not be escaping the Finns at the moment, and yeah, like you said, it's both of these squads that have played quite a little bit of Nuke, but looking like a flawless pistol will be on the way here for the side of SJ Gaming, and it is scary because AGF do have a very good run of form on Nuke, actually. They've beat the likes of Vizsla Krakow, Secret even, who we know do like to play, a little bit of Nuke along the way in very dominant fashion. The likes of 16-3s, 16-8 against level ups. They've got some really good results, but it's, for me, SJ that have the, better experience on this map. They've played overtimes. They've played double overtimes on this map. They know how to survive the longer iterations of the map like Nuke.
Yes, that's something that, in its key factor, experience is absolutely important here to map like Nuke, and especially now this being the third map, this is where we might get into the whole nitty-gritty. Both teams will have to try and perform to their best caliber, and so far, the eco is not too shabby. Lukey manages to pick up the kill here on Jemmy, but Sadix very quickly picks up a few, and this has been part of a very elaborate move from AGF. Yes, they go in for the vent dive, but instead of committing down on the lower bomb side like most teams do, they decide to go up the ladder and actually plant it on the A side of all places. A very peculiar way to go about things, but if that gives them the bomb plant, more power to them.
Decent round out of AGF there. Bomb down, single kill for the kill bonus, but, bomb plant economy is perfect in that position, so they will take that entirely. Head into the next round with a very nice set of money to move into that first buy round with, and the AKs, well, they will come through. No AWP to be afforded, but again, Lynxy brings out the big gun nice and early. But so far, so good here for SJ. Picking up those couple of early rounds is great, but now they've got to fend off and see how they perform against an AGF buy round. They were shaky, to say the least, on Mirage. We'll see if they can find their form on Nuke here, and Lynxy, that's a great way to begin.
I mean, SJ Gaming is one hell of a great way to begin. Limiting Team B, that was one of the more impactful players for AGF in the previous map of Mirage. Sadix, though, nice nade. Actually inflict a lot of damage. Doesn't Lukey, but not on the other players. In fact, that one grenade is more than enough to deter them for the incoming push. Okay, Jim, he has recovered the AK-47, but that is quite a risky move to make considering what's on the other side of that smoke grenade.
You need to be very careful here. Jemmy as well playing Hut. It's a readable angle, but not for Christo. Drops down and still continues to frag. That is a very nice play there from Jemmy. 2 kills in his favor. A Molotov assist on the second, I think, as well. And that is perfect. First buy round, unfortunately, not working out for AGF. They'll be down to an eco already. And scarily, they've only got 2 kills on their entire for 3 rounds played so far, both of which on Jemmy. The rest yet to fall. SJ Gaming, it's a pretty perfect start for them.
Yeah, it's nice. You know, winning the pistol round, and of course the first gun round is no easy task, but they managed to accomplish just that here, SJ Gaming, and this one as well. It is going to be primarily pistols to go up against. Arvid, though, always dangerous to hold that angle, but in his case, he works out so well for him. Statics as well, finally coming alive here in the third map, and if he is able to perform, that might just be enough to get SJ Gaming over the board, but now they should realize as long as they're kind of here on the B side, though, Netric comes out on top. But yes, considering it's a simple eco to get the bomb plant, it is by far the best possible scenario. Ooh, Frostlev, though, on the hunt.
Might be able to get away with a decent sneak through play here, but unfortunately not this time. We'll be able to get away with the defuse there, SJ. Again, another great bomb plant on the side of AGF, sorry. So it's extra money in the bank. It's a very nice little round there to be played, but 4-0 start. SJ, great beginning so far. But AGF, they've got the AWP out now. They've got the big guns on the field, full utility. This is their prime position to try and take a first round.
Yes, they have a really good chance at doing so. As AGF come in with a very solid purchase. AWP in the hands of Chris, though, who has been performing really well. And then you have the Agf Vs for the rest, and of course, loads of utility. Lacey, though, very early on, losing a lot of HP, and Team B going down the vents very rapidly. This is something SG Gaming should expect right now, but look at Jemmy's positioning. This is where a guy like Lukey might be in for a nasty surprise, but the players of AGF being very careful of that positioning. As for Statics, that's the problem. Yes, is taking a close look at anyone coming in from Trophy, but there is still a player just lurking around the lower bomb site.
Oh, Jemmy, this might not be an angle expected. Lukey is checking that hut door, but not particularly anywhere further. Oh, thought he was about to walk right in for a second there. No, now he is. Great entry by Jemmy. Will back away, plays safe. With 55 seconds on the clock and very limited map control for AGF. This is so good right now. Jemmy with a second as well. Looking for further damage, but a 4 versus 3. Kern needs to be careful though, because inside of main, you do still have Netric to play with.
Oh, this is going to be Netric's and TMB's time to shine. TMB finally sneaks in. However, with just 30 seconds remaining, I think it might be just a little bit late. Oh, this is unlucky for him, or maybe it is. He's gonna move up the ladder to try and get a kill. In fact, even better, he's in a position to not only just find the 1 kill, but a second one up for grabs. He sees them both, and he'll get them both. With just 13 seconds remaining,
oh no!
Both been dropped, Molotov deployed, and Sadix, he's got a really good chance in this one. 7 seconds, he can just play the time. 5 seconds, he'll run away from this one, and he knows he's done it, and he's won it.
Oh my gosh, that is so awkward there for TMB. Statics plays it absolutely perfectly, though. You cannot take away from that. He plays that exactly how he should as a player like that. And wow, SJ, they are keeping up the scoreline. 5-0 start. I'm surprised that AGF didn't actually take a tactical timeout there just to sort of reset the players, but I mean, this is a brilliant start here for SJ so far. Rebuy to come, but AGF seems to be on the back burner here on Nuke already.
The satisfying thing as well for, the player TMB that has made his way down the vents so quickly, at least how it used to work in the olden days, is that here, and when you have the orange squeak door, what teams would used to do is that, for example, Astralis, I saw one of the teams using this thing, is if you'd open up the squeak door at the very top, then the player that's in decon can open up his squeaky door, and that sound cue would throw away the CTs, which in this case, if the door gets blown up way too early, they can't really do the same thing, so TMB has to wait for the right time to strike, to open up the door, or at least open up one of the glass windows, and well, he wasn't able to do much in the previous one, and here, same goes as well. TMB, Lukey, the first few players to fall, but AGF, they're at least making their way down the lower bomb side, even though it is a slow endeavor.
Ooh, this time, Frostlev seems to have been made aware of so far. 43 seconds on the clock. Back to the A side they go. Arvid getting ready for this approach right now. Only lines up damage though. Kern springs into action, however, leaving Frostlef in a 1 versus 3. They know he's crossed to the bomb site. Lynxy will get the frag. The bomb does go down, so it's again extra money for AGF. But SJ, I mean, this is perfect so far. A clean beginning, 6-0 start. SJ are looking on fire despite actually losing Mirage. They seem to have bounced right back here on Nuke.
Yeah, and just like on Mirage's first half, I mean, they were also looking incredibly strong. But after a few timeouts from AGF, they started to bounce back. Maybe this will be also the case here for the Danish squad. It is a little bit dissatisfying start for some of the players, in particular Crystal, yet to pick up a single frag. And here, they have money to invest. That's the one good thing for AGF. They have tried going to lower bomb set a few times, but it has been a little bit disjointed. Maybe they have to change things up a little bit. Try to brute force their way onto one of the sites by having the majority of the players commit to it, instead of having, a bit of a split by having 2 players coming in from one angle, 1 player from the other, and the 3rd guy or the 4th guy coming in from somewhere else entirely. At least now with the AK-47s, that does give them the speed to move quickly. TMB not investing into the extra utility though. There's the HG grenade, but I would presume it's because he'd be the first man in. And yes, they're all entering the bomb site so quickly, and Arvid gets himself too. Finally is eliminated by Netric, but AGF, the brute force works out. They have taken over the site. Now it's time to plant the bomb.
Retake is still on here for SJ. They'll get the nice little one-way smoke setup there for Sadix as well. That is now a pretty common occurrence for the CT site. Bomb is yet to be planted though. They are maybe trying to sort of psych out SJ. Try and make them realize this might not be the A side, but no, now the bomb is confirmed. 4 versus 3 for the retake. With a single flashbang left on the side of AGF, it's going to be really down to those aim duels. Very limited utility. A Molotov retrieved, actually. An incendiary launched into heaven again to waste that time. Keep them at bay for now, as finally the utility has been exploited. Flashbang down onto the forefront of the site. Sadix, though, fully blind upon the entry. Lynxy able to cross, but how safe is he? Is what the question. Still, there might just be enough time as SJ burst into the site with milliseconds to spare.
And the difficult nature as well, that they have to enter with oppers. So what do the oppers do? They just whip out the USBs. How on earth are you supposed to get kills in that scenario? It is incredibly difficult, yet the players of SG Gaming, they manage it regardless. They end up securing the victory here, 7-0. AGF, though, one good thing for them is that brute force idea on the A-bomb side. I mean, initially, yeah, they end up losing the 2 players, but they also eliminate the only defender on the bomb site itself. They could have gone for the early bomb plant, but it felt like they want to try to retreat from that position, maybe just play the time and eventually plant that bomb, which they did. But meanwhile, the utility had already faded by that point, so they had to rely on their aim, and eventually it wasn't enough. Though, we do see a few players already in the lower bomb site, which is a very quick change of pace from AGF. So let's see if that will work out for them. Right now, Netric does secure the frag here, and Karn in early 4v4.
Good entry there at least. Look at this though from SJ. Sneaking right the way around here. Sadix, good return. Able to come through that ramp position. Still Frost left. Ooh, TMB gets the drop on Jemmy. Not expecting him to be there whatsoever. Frost left dead. They know where Lynxy is now as well. He will have to go for the save. So finally, AGF get themselves a nice little start here. A first round on the board. It's taken them, a sweet minute to find the success here. But if there's one thing that we know, SJ, they got, 6-1? And then lost to Mirage still just by winning, one single round by the time AGF had won 12. So we know that even a scoreline as depthy as this, as 7-0, might still not be safe for SJ.
Yeah, because we saw that comeback potential on the T set of Mirage, and AGF managed to do a splendid job there, so they could potentially do so on Nuke, though it's going to be a little bit harder on the T side of Nuke of all places. SJ Gaming, though, have just enough money to reinvest here. But considering they won 7 rounds in a row, I actually thought they'd have much more bank to work with. So a few rounds, if they go the way of AGF, that could be just enough to break the economy of SJ. So for AGF, they still got a chance to at least make things a bit more even here in the first half. And I mean, they should not give up. They've shown a tenacity in the first half of Mirage. I really hope they'll show us the same here on T side. Nuke and TMB very quickly descends down defense. It's already made its way onto the lower bomb side. Lynxy, though, does get the frag here, and Cristo. Lynxy on the second, and that's also the bomb being dropped.
1-by-1 peaks for this bomb, not even retrievable by Frostlef, and he might just get baited into the peak here. They can't retrieve that bomb yet. Oh, but still, Lynxy keeping up the fight, and he knows a player might be coming down ramp. That's how good his game sense is right now. Does he expect TMB, though, in this sort of position? Well, he rescopes at maybe just the right time, but it all depends on the movement of Lynxy right now. He's biding his time, just waiting for the right time to strike. With 50 seconds on the clock, both of these players seeming to group up toward the ramp. Lynxy, he's realized, he's worked it out that it's been so quiet right now on the rest of the map. They've got to be coming from this position, and that's exactly the case. Smokes the bomb, though. At least it's now retrievable. Or is it? That's the question. Oh.
Barely. They managed to recover it with 25 seconds remaining on the clock. But if you're SJ Gaming, you know it's 20 seconds. They recovered the bomb. Where else could they go if not the B bomb side? TMB is going for a very ballsy maneuver here. In fact, no, it's not the B bomb side. It's the A side. But that's the problem. You have players just ready and waiting for them to make this huge mistake. And 8-1 it is. AGF making it difficult. Absolutely. In that ramp position, I'm very much surprised that Lynxy has found so much success. You might consider that's the one opera there. Surely one double peek, and suddenly that player is out of the picture. That didn't come through. He gets to, and then instead of holding his position, he could have very easily just died to DMB, but Sadix had the awareness that there is a potential push from ramp, so he knows that he moves in, does something unexpected, and it works out in his favor just wonderfully. And speaking of which, AGF very quickly moving up secret. This is something we haven't really seen too often, and maybe this will be their time to shine.
Straight through the doors, though. Sadix, that is a beautiful triple. Does get traded eventually by Frostlef, but that bomb again is down in the open. There is a ramp flank coming through, though, but again, Lynxy, look at his awareness. He is so aware. Gets the tag in there as well, but somehow survives the onslaught. Finally, no, who's dying in this point? Finally, TMB shutting him down, but it's back to a 2v2. And Kern, he has such a good position down ramp. TMB will not expect this position. Lets the first player walk in, and Frostlef now isolated.
It's difficult for old Frostlef to try and win this one. He does have the bomb alongside him, which is quite nice. And time as well. Time is just enough for him to make up his mind on which one of the bomb sites he wants to go for, the A side or the B side. He's got just enough time to do so. But the way he's moving right now does look like the lower side is potentially his. And if you can isolate the aim duels, it becomes a lot more doable for him to secure that victory. Of course, if you're a player like Jemmy, you're not going to move an inch. What you're going to be waiting for is some kind of sound cue. Frostlef slowly but surely begins to, clear out the corners. And with 10 seconds remaining, he closes off the doors. And he'll begin to go into the bomb plant. But Jemmy, he's going for the push. And Jemmy comes out on top. It is a risky move that Jemmy has gone for. But at the very least, he knows that 10 seconds remaining. If I go in for the push right now, I might just stop the bomb plant for an extra few seconds. And maybe then my teammate can quickly descend down the vents and maybe get the finisher. But it is 9-1. AGF really struggling when it comes down to picking up these T-side rounds.
So far, so good from SJ. This is a really good performance, limiting what AGF can do in this type of position. Seeming like another A-sided attack. Netric taking some huge damage, though. toward that outside position. Oh, TMB gets lined up, but it's a good return. Jemmy, though, exactly the same. Still, they've got a player inside of Vents here, but Kern, he's sticking back. He's waiting and playing in that position, ensuring the safety of the bomb site. And no matter what AGF are trying to do right now, SJ just seem a step ahead every single time. And there is not a lot they can do about this here. It's looking like SJ are on a fast track to double digits here on Nuke.
Absolutely, those 10 rounds are almost in their grasp. Netric, though, oh, this is a nice position from him. No one seems to be aware of it. So you could potentially pick up a few players at the very least. Oh, look at this. Jemmy begins to look towards the heaven. That's so unlucky for Netric. If he moves in just a few seconds earlier, suddenly he's in a much better position to at least get the one. But here, Christo at least makes his way in the B-bomb side. We'll get that bomb plant, which is always great for AGF to get some extra money, but winning this round becomes oh so difficult as Karn secures the final frag.
The one thing that SJ aren't scared of, actually, is giving away those bomb plants. They're not scared of letting up on the site itself. They're not scared of allowing AGF, especially in a position like that for like a 2v4 or a 1v4 in that type of role. Not scared to let them get that bomb down. It just helps out with knowing where the player is, confirming their location. And SJ perfectly running off with the rounds again here. 10-1. Nuke is looking like an absolute walkover right now. And I mean, just look at AGF. You've got Christo on a single frag, Lukey on 3, TMB on 4. Nobody particularly having a great game. But you know who is having a great game? Sadix. He was completely absent from Mirage. He's at the top of the leaderboard here on Nuke.
Yeah, that's a very good point to make, considering how poorly he played in that second map. It is almost a miracle that he's not only able to perform to a much better level, but he's also become the best fragger in the server, which is something you don't get to see about players that have a difficult run on one of the maps and then comes back stronger. A lot of times what ends up being is that if a player has a strong performance on, say, the first map, chances are on the second map, he's just going to be average at best. But a lot of times he will end up being, you know, this sort of player that is at the bottom of the scoreboard. But it's a reverse. It's reverse here for Sadix. He's performing to a very high standard, just as it matters most. And oh no, they're going to move in through the smoke, but they will not move an inch further as Karn is on the other side. And TMB, though, nice pickup on Jemmy, but SJ Gaming quickly shut it all down as Karn comes in for more.
This is an absolute onslaught right now from SJ. 11-1 seeming already confirmed. A single bullet to do the trick. And AGF, they can keep on buying, they can keep on spending, but it's not having any sort of effect at this point. And this is looking like such a one-sided performance right now. Pistols and Kevlar to be purchased. Maybe a chance of a faster play here on the side of AGF, but they tried that here. They tried the outside control here, and it does not work out in the slightest. A 4K for Kern, that tap as well at the end, just connecting. And wow, this is looking absolutely perfect for SJ. Considering that it's AGF that usually win quickly on Nuke here, and it's usually SJ that, you know, unfortunately flounder in overtime or have to play 30 rounds. This is a complete different, you know, side of SJ that we're seeing right here.
Oh, I'd even go far as to say that it's somewhat disastrous, but, you know, 20 seconds have passed. AGF have control over the lower bomb site. They're in a 4 versus 4. You know, they got a chance in this one. Look at SG Gaming as well. They need to, first of all, wait for the smoke grenades to fade. But something tells me Lynxy could be overwhelmed. I think, oh, he catches a glimpse of the player, and it's Karn going for a hefty spray. But now more than 20 seconds have passed. They're nowhere near the site itself. Arvid, good pickup here. Lukey, Karn gets his. And now it's Lonesome TMB. He can make this work. He evades the flames for now. Now he needs to look for the player. Oh, the bullets connect. No, Jemmy kills himself with his own Molotov.
Oh dear. The luck had to run out at some point for SJ, right? Feel like that might have just been that one there, unfortunately. Yeah, Jemmy burning in his own molly. He burned as well, down to like 30 health. A tag there from TMB as well. Oh, unfortunate, but AGF get a second round. SJ, they'll keep on fighting though. Double AWP purchased. A slight bump in the road, sure, but it's some frags straight away back gathered as Lynxy chimes in for a second. SJ, of course, they are back to winning ways so far. Christo, good return of the flank though. Jemmy trying to get a little bit overzealous perhaps. But Lynxy moving into that corner. He knows it, but can't read it. Good return back to a 3-on-3.
And SG Gaming have been very early on. I mean, they received those early kills, but instead of just, playing on the defaults, they've gone for some aggressive plays, thinking they'll one-up the opponents. But the problem is, it's a free versus free. If anything, AGF have got a good chance as any to potentially win this round. Sadix keeping a close eye on things on ramp, but he's only looking onto the right-hand side, meaning someone can very easily just push on through the left side. And with 45 seconds remaining, SJ Gaming, they're not 100% sure where the final commitment will take place. Now they see some of the utility being deployed, so they have an inkling of what's going on. Sadix, will he pull the trigger? Oh my gosh, that is unreal.
That's incredible timing. That's almost too incredible timing. That's insane. Either way, that's a perfect little shot. 3 versus 2 now. Arvid taking his time, but Netric at least trading it back into that 1 versus 2 now, though. Still Kern isolated, but doesn't matter. Hits the shot, gets the frag. 12 on the board for SJ.
12 rounds have already been picked up. This is unbelievable. 12 rounds on CD side nuke. I mean, they can almost taste the victory in their mouths. That's how close they are to achieving not only a win on this third map, but of course the victory in the best of 3. And considering this is the opening game, whoever wins this one, they will have to go up against Copenhagen Flames that have just recently managed to win their best of 3 against their opponents of Apeks. So we'll see. As of now, SG Gaming seems to be very likely to be that team to face off Copenhagen Flames, but who knows how that second half can turn out. The first half is already amazing. Netric, ooh, is he ready? No, he is not, and that will be the first one. We'll see if it's the first of many, though. There's a few good kills working out for SJ, but a few in return. And now it is a 3-on-2. Sadix needs to get in position as quickly as he can, because the players of AGF are quickly running down the B side, except for Frostlev.
Oh, the timing here might just be so awkward. Still, they realize... Back to a 2v2 now. Sadix. What did he just shoot at there? Oh, I'm not too sure. B bomb site has been lost, though. Both players will group up. Head down ramp together. Plant has been confirmed. Lynxy is down on 7 points of health, but he does have that incendiary. Would love to see that chucked right into that left-hand corner, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Molotov down. Not a chance in the world of survival. They know where both of these players are, but it's down to TMB. The smoke is perfect. A slight gap, but Sadix, he's already crossed over. There's no chance of vision. And now they can tap onto the bomb to try and play this defuse. Perfect from SJ.
13-2. I mean, it is as good as it gets. 13 rounds on the CT side of Nuke. It seems to be like a vintage performance from any team of the olden days. Nowadays, I mean, it is somewhat more common to see, 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 rounds being picked up on the T side. This being as one-sided as it is, it goes to show that SJ Gaming have got what it takes to close things out. But again, having such a substantial lead and being such a prime position to close things out could put you also in a detrimental space of mind. You might think, oh, if we don't lose the pistol, we can give this round away. We can lose a few, but if you lose the gun round, the next gun round as well, suddenly your opponents will just minimize the scoreline difference to maybe 5th or 6th round, that is when you might have to reconsider your options and take the game more seriously. And as of now, for SJ Gaming, it's not a good start. It's one that's great for Netric and co. They managed to eliminate the first one. Christo gets his. A second one for Christo. The pistol round seems to go the way of the Danes.
Finally back to winning ways here for AGF after a very one-sided first half. Seems like the Finns will be stopped in their tracks, at least for now. 5 versus 2. 2 very quick trades potentially available in the form of Christo and Luki. If they can take out players like Netric and TMB as well in the sort of situation as well before they can shut out Christo and Luki, that would make the round much easier on the side of SJ. However, outside control to be established by SJ Gaming. Interesting, actually, a couple of these 2 AGF players choosing to use the P2000, one of the weapons that is very underused. But this time, it seems to be working out beautifully for players like Christo. Sadix walking in this time. That's the closure onto Netric they were looking for. With these players now not tagged up, it could work out, but not this time. TMB and Frost left wrapping it up. And AGF confirming the pistol, confirming that they will stick around on Nuke for a little longer.
Yeah, I mean, with the pistol round now being picked up, looks like Nuke will have to extend just a little bit further. For a team like SJ Gaming, though, I thought we might see, the Simple Eco, considering all they got to do is just try to get that gun round as quickly as they can and try to finish things off here. But no, they'll in fact consider going for the investment here. Pistols for all. And utility for some of the players, in particular for Arvid and Sadix. So they will prompt to go towards the outside area by the looks of things. Get through the right container, they will have to throw the smokes to cross safely. Frost is not really aware of what's going on just yet. Of course, now see the smoke grenades being deployed, and the players of SJ Gaming will begin going down the lower side. Frost have also been softened up by those pistols, but it will be Frost up to secure the kill on Lynx, and the remaining players will have to recover the bomb as well. It's in a very awkward spot. They have picked it up. Now it's time to go down the site.
Tagging up some of these players with those pistols as well, but luckily MP9 of Luki overwhelms Sadix. Ooh, the info good enough there. Takes out at least Frost left. Gets an M4 to play with as well. MP9 on outside, but Sadix does the damage. No trades, unfortunately, this time. Jemmy isolated down into a 1 versus 3. So many tags onto these players, but just not a lot that they can do in this position with a lone M4. TMB biding his time, waiting for these rotates. Jemmy coming in through main. That is where Netric is situated. The crossfire established. Should not be getting through here, and of course, that is the case. 13-4. AGF getting a couple of rounds in tow here. A third should be on its way as SJ now have to take a full eco round.
Yeah, that's just the nature of it. You lose the pistol, you lose the second round as well, and because they've gone for the force, but it has to be the the simplest of ecos here for the team of SG Gaming. I know that was one of the things I was talking about earlier, that in a position such as this, when you have such a tremendous lead, we'll see some mistakes crop up without a doubt. In a round like this, you do not expect to secure the victory regardless, but that's a nice little pickup here by Jemmy, allowing the SG Gaming players to quickly run down the B-bomb side, but instead, in fact, they're not. They have slowed down quite a bit, which is very interesting to see. Oh no. my. Now I see why they slow down the pace.
Had to readjust their setup just for the fact that the bomb is down in vents. But now it seems like their motive has changed completely. No longer are they going for the plant, they're going for the hook, line, and sinker. They're playing for the kills right now. And with a minute left on the clock, sure, none of these players have Kevlar, but as long as they play in like a 2-on-1 scenario, they will surely be able to overpower here at this point. They'll clear out the vents. Netric, though, good for the denial. Takes out 1, makes it back to a 3 versus 2. They do not expect... Oh, good angle from Netric. I was going to say, surely they don't expect TMB, but it's Netric that is keeping hold of the vents right now. However, they do have Kern on his way in, but unfortunately, nice attempt, some great damage, some good money gained, but not the round for SJ.
Yeah, it is somewhat unfortunate, especially how close it got to that point. You're not expecting it. It's just some simple pistols. Yeah, they might overwhelm the first guy that's in ramp, but the fact that he got 2 extra kills out of it as well, now that's impeccable. Scary thing as well is that AGF, I know that their backs are against the wall, but the fact that he lost 3 players here puts them in a very difficult economical state. If they lose the gun round, that could potentially be it, and that is some great nade usage. Frostlive losing a lot of HP, and surprisingly enough, once he loses his HP, he doesn't consider backing away. He reaggresses, sees that there's no one there, and now he'll play it safe. But look at the remaining players of SG Gaming. They're ready to commit to his lower sight. Lukey Molotov at his feet. He'll have to back away from this gunfight.
Has to play super careful right now here. Does not want to give up this sort of scenario to the side of SJ here. Not in the slightest. A bomb site seeming like the target here on the side of SJ Gaming. Again, though, they are slowing down, not willing to overcommit in this position, and that might just be the best way to go about it here. Almost psych out the AGF side before they go for the attack, and we'll see how this one plays out for now. They've got 45 seconds on the clock. They've got plenty of time here to be careful, to be safe, and still Netric. Good denial of that one. TMB as well. Finally getting a trade back, but it's a 3v3. They are heavily reliant on the play of Jemmy right now, though.
Ooh, and that's the thing as well. He could very easily spot it out, and he will be here by Lukey. That's a problem for SJ Gaming. They know the position of the guy in heaven, but there's no way to try and kill him. Oh, maybe that is the right way to go about it. Try to bait him out of that Molotov, though. Uh-oh, below the feet of Statics. He has to move, but he simply cannot. And AGF managed to secure the gun round as well. SJ Gaming, they at least made it competitive. Early on, they're the ones to secure the opener. In the commitment on the A-bomb side, it still looks somewhat doable, but it's when Jemmy goes down you begin to realize that, okay, AGF have got a really good chance at picking this one. And for SG Gaming, they still have enough money to reinvest, but this is where they're entering dangerous waters. AGF, slowly but surely, but they are picking up rounds here on the CT side.
Finally, seeming to come back into this round right now. Getting a solid run of form so far here. 13-6 is actually not a bad position to be in here. And Chris, though, that's a great little entry to find. Frostleft does the same. And that is exactly how you want to be beginning right now. It is scary, the fact that this one is starting to turn on its head for SJ. Statics and Arvid. Statics and Arvid. Luckily getting the trades back. But what can they do with this position? Bomb will go down, but Statics again, the flanks being made are so reliant upon the success of this round, and they seem very aware of the flanks, although Lynxy isolates into a 1v1, and now should know exactly where Lukey's coming from.
100%. And the great thing for Lynxy is that his opponent is making a lot of noise, and second of all, he does not have the kit, and Lynxy manages to secure the victory. It will be 14 rounds for them. And now with this victory, it suddenly becomes a lot more doable for them to secure the win. I will say also an interesting thing, because I remember that SG Gaming, they also played quite recently at the third iteration of the 9-5 Dawn stage, and they were also playing Nuke, and they had a substantial lead against a team like Tiki Taka. I think it was something like 14-5 at one point. And they actually somehow ended up losing in regulation, go to overtime, and then managed to close things out eventually. So we'll see if it's going to be a similar scenario here against AGF. Maybe not in this round, though. Netric does secure the opener, but it's still 4 armed and dangerous SG Gaming players that are very much alive in the server.
Especially in this sort of position where AGF have gone for the force buy. It essentially limits exactly what they need to do. They've got to win this round if they do wish to survive here in not just this round and the upcoming one, but the entire best of 3. It essentially relies upon a victory here, and with a minute left on the clock, SJ are not scared of slowing down. The utility is terrible on the side of AGF, so if those Molotovs come flying in, which they definitely should for positions like the vents here, then you need to be able to hold the line for now. Jemmy takes a slight tag, gives a sound cue to the side of AGF, but again, nothing seems committed yet from SJ. Arvid, though, on his way into the site. There's 2. And now they go for the commitment. Frostleft is isolated. And all it takes is a denial from him. He gets 2 back to level playing fields. And there's a flank. But no, Lukey! No, they can't afford to miss that flank. The bomb is down, but they still know the location of both of these players.
And at this point, 10 seconds remaining. Looks like they're going to go down the vents. No, yes, what's going on? Jemmy, few seconds remaining. He knows he has to plant that bomb. And Chris, of course, he's going to move in. He's not going to waste any time. And for the Christo, that's perfect. Oh, no, Jemmy. He manages to win the round. And Christo, surprise, surprise, but he does not win the clutch.
How does that even happen? Jemmy caught it on the final possible tick, I think, there. And still was not able to clutch it out. Crystal, you could see he wanted to take him down before the bomb even was planted, but just not an option right now for AGF. And look where it leaves them. Pistols, minimal Kevlar, and map and series point on the shoulders of SJ Gaming.
Oh boy, this is not looking good here for AGF, and it's also not a good start. Arvid secures the first one. Sadix does go down very rapidly, whereas you do have the remaining players that will commit on the A-bomb side regardless. They have full control of it. Yes, there's still 3 players to go up against, but they're in a prime position to get that bomb planted. What they may not be aware of is the push, or in fact, second thought, Karn is very much aware of it, putting Lonesome Frostlove in an almost unwinnable position. He's coming in for Mini. He's going to have to somehow come up huge to win this round.
Oh, absolutely massive if he wants to get away with this one. Frost left down into that 1v4. They're already ratting out his position, unfortunately, as he's stuck behind the smoke with time ticking away. He will get some damage in, but the round itself is gone. And there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, SJ Gaming, they will ride the wave of this series. They will guarantee, sure, a 2-1 victory. But again, some very quick maps in this best of 3. 16-7, 16-8, 16-6. There were some very quick games, but SJ come out on top during 2 of them.
Yeah, this was an incredibly one-sided best of 3 from what I can tell, because you end up witnessing a 16-7 on the very first map. I think the second one is 16-8, and you have this one as well. So it's very interesting that we had these one-sided performances coming in from both squads, but at the very end, when the third map comes up, that is, by far the most one-sided one, where a team like SJ Gaming just managed to run away with the very first half. 13 rounds picked up on the CT side. Now, considering it's a third map, it's a decider, it's a map that both teams are capable of playing, that was a very surprising result.
Oh, for certain. It's a map that statistically, we've never seen SJ win in that type of fashion on Nuke. If they get a victory, it's like a 16-14, a 16-13, even overtime has been necessary in their final couple of matches they've played on Nuke. So that's a real stark turnaround of what SJ are capable of. I mean, Kern comes up massive in this series. One of the players that is in this side to be more of a supportive element. He's been around for years now in the scene. He's not a, player expected to frag, but he brings out so many kills to the server. Overwhelming on Nuke as well. He was a very good performer, and one of the reasons that SJ was so stable when players, like Sadix disappeared on that map of Mirage when, they had a couple of quiet performances. Some of these more experienced players like your Arvids and Kerns of the SJ side did come and turn up massively to keep SJ in the game there.
That's the one thing I also was quite surprised to note that of the players that we got to witness here at the post game, that it is Karn. You know, Karn was the
Yeah.
one individual that managed to step up when it mattered most, and he's also one of the older players here as well. He's been part of that Finnish scene for some time now, and the fact that he's still capable of putting in the numbers as the guy is 30 years old, that is pretty impressive. That he helps out the youngsters, and they've managed to secure the opening game here at Group C.
There we go. They'll advance to play Copenhagen Flames, who did actually manage to snatch a 2-0 against the side of Apeks. So they were able to win out on 2 tactical maps of Nuke and Vertigo there. A very icky best of 3-2 maps to play there, but they won 16-11 and 16-14. So they are the matchups here, of course. Copenhagen Flames versus SJ. That will be going on the main stream, of course, but we will have ourselves a nice little, of course, AGF versus Apeks. Double A's, of course, coming into this one. We'll take a short break, though. We'll be back in around 20 minutes or so to start discussing everything in this elimination game, of course. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Initialize booting. These are your targets. You must find, capture and contain them until extraction vehicle arrives. Witnesses are irrelevant. Leave them unharmed if you can. End of the transmission. System online.